So, contrary to popular belief, size does in fact matter, and today we're going to be talking about AR pistols, specifically in the state of California. Now, with AR pistols, in most states, the process goes like this. You go to a gun store, you buy a stripped lower receiver, have it filled out as an other or whatever, never build it as a rifle, and you got yourself an AR pistol. Cool. In California, it's a whole lot different. It's complicated. There's a lot of confusion surrounding this topic, and there's a couple different ways to do it, but you got to make sure you do the right things, and you need to be aware of the potential legal ramifications because the state of California does not want you to have what's essentially kind of a short-barreled rifle, but technically a weird gray area of legal definitions that makes it different requirements. So let's talk about this complicated issue today. Now, if you told me back in 2016 that there would have been 4 ways for me to actually get a hold of an AR pistol in California, I'd have bent you over the table and spanked you on the butt because you're lying to me, boy. But, it kind of seems as if that is the case today. And there's one specific method that I'm actually choosing for myself that I think is it's the best, most feasible, and easiest for most people to do it. But I'm going to talk about that at the end because I think you should know about the other 3 methods even if you're going to end up choosing the last one. So if people want to leave timestamps, they can, but I will not because I want you to watch all of this video. Sue me. So we're going to start with the 80% route. So in California, the issue with 80% is this. In order to actually mill one out legally, if you choose to go routes that aren't legal or choose to not comply, that's fine, but why are you watching this video? You're not really worried about the legal ways to do it. So legally, when you build from an 80%, you have to first apply with the DOJ for a serial number. At that point, they will give you that serial number, you must engrave it on the gun, and then you can begin building it. So here's the catch. It's not quite that easy. You can't build a semi-auto centerfire pistol in California from an 80%er without it being held to the same standards that the California handgun roster is on. Basically meaning that you're going to need to make that gun a single shot only gun. There's a whole lot of great articles out there talking about how to do this. It's fairly simple, but it's going to cause a little bit of issue because here's where the trouble lies. The DOJ recently said that converting a gun that you register as a single shot pistol with the DOJ, converting it to a semi-auto configuration can result in you creating an assault weapon, but the issue around that is you just make it fixed mag. But the issue that came after that, they said that if you convert a handgun that is exempt from the handgun roster and then make it into a configuration that is not exempt, that you would be manufacturing an unsafe handgun. Pretty much every lawyer that I've spoken to, every lawyer that I've seen write up documents regarding this issue has said that the DOJ doesn't actually have a legal basis for this and that it's mostly a scare and threat tactic, something that I'm familiar with lately. Taryn, you're my boy. But the issue becomes you have to decide whether or not you want to be the test case, because if you create an 80% gun, register it with the DOJ as a single shot pistol, convert it, and then get caught with it for some reason, you're going to run the issue of you might potentially be that test case that hopefully someone's able to back you up, hopefully an organization backs you up, hopefully you have good lawyers, but I personally wouldn't want to take that risk myself, which is why I don't do it. 80% have a whole other wealth of issues as far as, the physical requirements of building them are a little bit more complicated. If you're going the 80% route, typically you're doing it because you don't want the government to know about them, but in California, you can't avoid that legally. So for me personally, I would not recommend the 80% route due to the questionable legality of it and the limitations that are put on you in addition to the additional hoops and effort that you have to jump through in order to simply make. The second option, and probably the least accessible and definitely the most expensive option out of this, is by going through the secondhand market. Now here's the thing, I spoke earlier about a handgun roster, and basically that's a list of guns that normal civilians like you and I can actually buy. Cops are exempt from this. As long as it is not an assault weapon, they can buy it and sell it to you, which is cool. However, because it's a seller's market, and because capitalism really can be a cruel bitch at times, you're going to run into the issue of they're going to be selling it for 2 to 3 times what it's actually worth. So an AR pistol in California, expect to spend anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000, which in my mind is a no for me, dog. Just not something I'm interested in. Because once that cop buys that gun that they are exempt from the list of, they can then at any point in time decide, hey, I don't want this anymore. I want to sell it. I want to get my money back. And because the demand is there, they know that they can get 2 to 3 times the value of it. However, if you happen to know a cop, you cannot have your cop friends buy guns and then sell it to you with the intent to get rid of it to you. However, if your cop friends happen to buy a gun, decide later on, hey, I don't want this gun, they can sell it to anyone or give it to anyone they want as long as they go through a proper background check in the state of California. So while it's not accessible for most people, it is an option, so something to keep in mind. Okay, so the third option. This one is going to require that you have a local gunsmith, so an actual FFL that is a licensed gunsmith that is willing to work with you. There's some pretty cool ones out there. One of them that comes to mind is Second Amendment Zone down in Southern California. I know there are many other options. I'm not going to share their websites, but if you want to DM me on Instagram, I can share you a couple names that I know. All because of YouTube policies, I can't link directly to them. So one of the ones that I know of that sells single-shot break-top AR pistols in the state of California is Second Amendment Zone. I also know of VC Defense, but what it's going to require you to do is pay them to build from the stripped receiver their own actual AR-15 pistol that's single-shot, meaning you have to break it open, pop it out, put a new round in, close it up, fire, before you can actually transfer it to you. Because at that point, that gun was initially made from the factory as a single shot gun, making it legal for them to transfer it to you because it is roster exempt. The big benefit of going this route is that you can get them to build it exactly how you want it. Now, it might cost you more sometimes if you're going to have them do a custom build, but it's all about having a good relationship with that gun shop, establishing a level of rapport. If you've given business to them in the past and they know you, they're going to be more likely to work with you. So like always, just be nice to people and things will generally go your way more often. So have a good relationship with the FFL that you plan on doing this, and they might be able to help you out more likely. Now here's the thing. Like I said in the 80% portion of this, converting this single shot gun to semi-auto with a fixed magazine in California, there's no actual penal code preventing you from doing this as long as you do not assemble what the state of California considers an assault weapon. So the issue comes in, the DOJ then just released their special bulletin, which I will link below in the description, saying that conversion of a single shot gun may make it an assault weapon, and it may also create an unsafe handgun that doesn't follow the rules of the handgun roster. However, here's the thing. In the same way that my Glock 19 was purchased as a factory legal and safe handgun roster eligible Glock 19, currently in this configuration, based on what the DOJ has been saying about modifications to a safe handgun, this gun would be manufacturing an unsafe handgun. The DOJ just decided they're going to just fucking send it and make some absurd comments about what manufacturing actually is, and hopefully people don't make these guns this way. The reason I'm more comfortable with the idea of converting a gun built from one of them, like VC Defense or Second Amendment Zone, is because you have a manufacturer that's actually backing you, whereas if you go the 80% route, you're kind of doing this weird thing that the state doesn't want you to do anyway. So personally, that's not for me. However, many people are comfortable, and these companies are adamant on the legalities. Again, I recommend you do your own research because this is an area that California, basically, they don't want you to have any AR-15s in general. So us operating outside of the legal restrictions and working within the guidelines that the state gives, they don't want you to do that. They want you to give up and not own guns. So keep that in mind. Okay, so the option that I'm actually personally most comfortable with myself, and if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen that I actually started a DROS on one of these guns the other day, is the Franklin Armory CA11. It is an AR-15 pistol chambered in .300 blackout. They also have the CA7 chambered in .556 and the CA12 chambered in .350 Legend. That's 3 options that are on the California handgun roster, meaning at any time you, a California resident, could go to a gun store, say, hey, I would like the CA7 or the CA11 or CA12, and they say, right on, give me your money. And then you give them the money, you look at the man, and then he's going to say, I need your information so I can call you when this gun comes in. Then the gun comes in, you buy it, 10 days later, you're out the fucking door with your gun. Awesome, right? Here's the thing. From the factory, these guns come as a straight pull bolt action repeater, not a single shot. It's got detachable magazines. You can use your normal mags, 30 round mags in these bad boys. Boom, 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 boom. And that's cool, right? However, you're then gonna ask me, Reno, can I convert it to semi-auto? And my answer to you is yes, but make sure you do a couple things first. So before you convert that gun to semi-auto, you're gonna wanna make sure you first make it fixed magazine and then put your semi-auto upper on it. Some of you are gonna say, hey, do I have to go the route of buying a new upper? No. You could go to a gunsmith, have them drill a gas port on the barrel, throw a gas block on it, make that system operational. However, that does void the warranty. So if you're ever having an issue with the gun, you might run into issues with the warranty. However, Franklin Armory, they're all super cool people over there. Some absolute mad lads on Instagram. And they're really cool about just don't be a dick. So me personally, the route that I went, I'll be right back. So the route that I went was I got the CA11 from them, and then I actually picked up this 11.5-inch 5.56 upper. I can use that same bolt carrier group and charging handle that the gun comes with, throw it in this bad boy, and then I've got a semi-auto gun. Now, the reason I like this is because it allows me to have the gun in the original manufacturer's configuration, but it also lets me have a gun that's semi-auto if I want that. This also does not void the warranty at all. It does not affect me in any way as far as parts compatibility because they are fully compatible with each other. I personally don't like the idea of having to deal with drilling out gas ports and voiding warranties, so I do think that a potential great option would be picking up the CA7, which is the cheapest option that they sell. You can get them for about $800, you know, which is a couple hundred less than MSRP, and slap a Palmetto State Armory upper on that bad boy or an Aero Precision upper on that bad boy, and you got a fully functioning AR-15 pistol. I think that this is kind of an interesting time. There's not been, I never would have thought, honestly, that there would have been 3 AR pistols on the California handgun roster, but, you know, we truly are living in an interesting timeline. I mean, I'm being harassed by Terran Tactical and their lawyers, and there's 3 AR pistols on the market, so what a time to be alive. Now, before I wrap up, I gotta talk about pistol braces. Pistol braces, what about them? None of the options from Franklin ship with an AR pistol stabilizing brace. However, there is nothing that I'm aware of, and there is no law that I've been made aware of by any other company saying that you cannot use a pistol brace as a pistol brace, or if it happens to shoulder your body, whatever. If you're not using it with the intent of it being a stock, the ATF has said that it's not a stock. So you're pretty good. However, this is an ever-evolving topic. So when it comes to braces, make sure you're always staying up to date. Check the local news, your fucking weatherman, whatever it is. Talk to somebody that's more knowledgeable at the current time. Maybe ask me questions. However, I'm not a lawyer, so don't expect me to come defend your ass in court if you do something stupid. As always, have fun, be safe, stay dangerous. Peace.